Welcome back to Longbox Diving, where we explore comics and story arcs pulled from the Longbox. Now today we're going to do another story arc review, again of X-Men Legacy, and this one is called Devil at the Crossroads. So this actually starts in X-Men Annual number 1, X-Men Legacy Annual number 1, and then carries through X-Men Legacy 228, 229, and 230. So this one kind of covers one of my favorite bad guys, Implate. Implate, like a here. He's like a vampire-ish dude that feeds on other mutants. Kind of weird dude. If you remember, way back in Gen X is when he was introduced. He was introduced with the brother of St. Croix. So Monet and Pinnis, they're all brothers and sisters. They all have mutant powers. And he was feeding off of the mutants and a bunch of weird stuff in Gen X. So some cool things there. And so Empath has always been this kind of weird villain. He also kind of lives in an alternate reality. So we start out in X-Men Annual number 1. He's looking for Xavier's school. And he kind of just goes, he actually is living in a lighthouse in the middle of a place called Nowhere. So he's got a little goblin dude named DOA. Kind of weird dude too. But so this story arc kind of starts there, and it doesn't have any carryover really, just a little subplot, and then we get over into the main and carry on to the next story arc. So he's looking for Xavier's school. He kind of shows up. At the same time, Rogue is kind of, we had from the last review, Rogue's kind of lost her power in a sense of the way it used to be, and now she actually literally has to touch somebody to get any power. So Cyclops kind of says, hey, you're off the main team. Now, you remember, Rogue used to be a team leader. She used to be a soldier, used to be one of the big dogs, right? And now she's not a big dog anymore. Now she's like, what, am I a nurse now? He goes, no, what we need is a counselor. And she's kind of in a unique position. She can touch them, read their mind in a little bit, right? And then she can kind of gain control of their powers and use their powers sometimes better than they can. But we have Implate. Implate comes and he takes this girl named Roxy. Now Roxy has she's able to shoot rock stuff out of her body, and so he takes her into this Nowhere realm, and he is going to feed off of her because he feeds off mutants. And there's some things that are attacking him in the other realm that he has to eat mutants to fight that. I'm not 100% sure what that's about. Maybe if somebody in the comments can let me know what that's talking about. So he takes Roxy. Trance, if you remember from last review, Trance was the girl that could split her body into a spirit, etc. She sees a door, etc. And then, this Rogue decides, hey, you're too young to do this. I'm going to go ahead and go in there for you. We kind of have another subplot in here of Gambit. And Gambit's kind of turned into like a dark elf Gambit. Not sure what that's going yet. Maybe we'll figure it out in the next story arc or so. I have not seen the next one I read. So somewhere down the line, we're going to figure out why is Gambit turning into like a dark elf Gambit and throwing dark things and stuff. And so Rogue's in there trying to find Roxy, and she figures out, hey, she sees DOA. DOA is able to use some creatures that are able to attack her in this spirit state. So she's kind of running all over. So now she's floating through this lighthouse. She's got monsters chasing her. She finally finds Roxy, but she can't really save Roxy because, again, she's a spirit. So how's she going to get Roxy out? So she does the next best thing. And what she kind of does is she tricks the system to force Implate to come back into our reality, basically at the school. So within the school, the Dr. Nemesis and Jeffries, they come up with a plan to actually keep it locked into our reality for a period of time so they can fight this dude, right? Again, he phases in and out, so it's kind of hard to fight Implate when he phases in and out of reality. You can't really hit him, so you have to be spirit to hit him and or phased or etc. So in the part 4, Rogue finally gets him trapped over. And it's cool because Rogue can absorb power, but even through in the physical taking Trance's power, so she's a ghost form, spirit form, she was able to take Implate's power because Implate kind of put his hand on her, and he was able to take her. She was able to take his power and then feed off of him too. It was kind of weird. She is thrown back into reality. The lighthouse gets there. It kind of crashes and it gets trapped by Dr. Nemesis and Dr. Jeffries. So he's trapped in our reality, and they kind of beat the tar out of him. In basics, right? They beat him up. Roxy is the one that finally defeats him. She lights him up with like all these rocks flowing out of her body. It knocks him. I think Rogue kicks him back through the portal without the lighthouse, by the way. Kicks him back through the portal. He gets trapped back in another realm. He hasn't fed, and then all the big baddies that he's been afraid of this whole time now decide to come after him. And that's kind of end of the storyline. It was an overall a pretty good storyline. I like Emplate as a villain. I think he's just right enough powerful to make it, kind of, they have a challenge, but also he's defeatable. He can be beat. So that's kind of cool. The story overall, it's a good building for Rogue, and again, Rogue has new power in a sense, right? So it acts differently. So it's nice to see her being able to use her power in different ways within the limits that she's now been set on her. It's still limited. I mean, she could be one of the most powerful mutants in the universe, but because of the limits that the writers are putting on her, like Carey has been pretty good. So this was written by Mike Carey. Daniel Acuna did the art, and the art in the annual was kind of, but the rest of it was actually pretty good. It has a nice amount of darkness, and then it has a lot of lightness too. So there's some contrast when you're in the spirit realm versus our reality, when Rogue's in her spirit form versus when she's in the lighthouse, all that kind of stuff. So we have those differences there. So that's really good. So the writing itself, I would put at a 3.5. It was a really good story. I probably would have liked a little bit more danger, and I would have liked probably a little more involvement in the main story of Rogue in the other realm with some of the other people. It's just kind of Rogue and Roxy. DOA was hilarious and worthwhile as a minion, so it's kind of fun. So story 3.5. Art in the first one was like a 2 for me, and these are probably 3. Again, Acuna's art's okay. It's not my favorite, but it's not bad. It covers 4 books total. Annual number 1, X-Men Legacy Annual number 1, and then X-Men Legacy 228, 229, and 230. The covers, that is a creepy, kind of cool looking cover. So I like that one. There's Gambit. Again, we have this subplot with Gambit going into Dark Elf mode. And this one is just weird. See, Rogue doesn't look like she's fighting him. She looks like she's going to bite him? Or she's happy? I don't know. It's kind of weird. I don't have annual number 1 in floppy. I do have it digitally, unfortunately, which I'm not a big fan of digital, but I have it digitally. So I did read it. And overall, the story overall, as a story arc, I would give it a 3. A 3 overall for covers, for story, and for art. It was really pretty well done. Not like top tier, something that everybody's going to remember, but it was worth my time reading, and it was sufficiently satisfying to be entertaining, etc. So that was our review of Devil at the Crossroads, an X-Men Legacy story arc from back in 2009. If you enjoy this content, please let us know, and like and subscribe. Have a good day.